HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. Good Sunday evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's what's making news. Only hours remain until Bahamians vote in the first national referendum on gaming, and the Parliamentary Registration Department is fully prepared for tomorrow's poll. More than 173,500 people are on the register to vote when the polls open at 8 a.m. and close at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Parliamentary registration officials reported that less than half of registered voters actually cast ballots in last week's advance poll. And in the overseas count of those voting in that poll, 41 out of 64 registered voters cast their ballots in 6 overseas locations: Miami, New York, London, Barbados, Jamaica, and Trinidad. Acting Parliamentary Commissioner Sherlyn Hall spoke with our news team today about the final preparations.
We are fully ready for referendum day tomorrow, 28th of January. The polling stations are being prepared. Final preparation, setting up of booths will be done today, and all of the ballots and ballot boxes are ready. Returning officers have trained their staff, and presiding officers have always also been in place and trained. All of the family islands administrators have their boxes in place for tomorrow, and things are ready to go.
And while Hall says the department won't make any predictions as far as voter turnout for the referendum, he's optimistic Bahamians will participate in great numbers come tomorrow.
The enthusiasm or the zeal that as a national general election. So from past experience, you will not have the percentage turnout as high as you would have for a general election. We are optimistic, but again, the reality is we have to wait to see how people are really motivated to vote. I think Bahamians love to vote.
Now, voters will be asked to vote yes or no to 2 questions. Do you support the regulation and taxation of web shop gaming? And do you support the establishment of a national lottery? In order for you to vote, you must present your voter's card. However, other means of identification like your passport or driver's license can also be used. And as a reminder, voters will cast their ballots for the referendum at the same locations they did for the general election. Mr. Hall added that the law requires liquor stores within 5 miles of any polling station to be closed on that day.
We would admonish voters to be at their best behavior, to come with a sober mind. We do not want people to be intoxicated or semi-intoxicated, to come so that you can think soberly and simply vote your conscience. Once one shows up at a polling station and your name is on the register and you have your voter's card, everything is normal, you would be entitled to vote on a white ballot.
And this programming note, The Bahamas Tonight will be aired at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow, Monday, January 28th. Our live coverage of the national referendum on gaming begins at 6 p.m. We encourage our viewers and listeners to also check out our official page on Facebook and participate in our online poll. We encourage you to tune in. Now to crime news. Police are investigating the country's latest murder tonight. Police reported that the lifeless body of a male was found in the Dean Lane area just behind Xavier's Lower School on West Bay Street sometime around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Acting Police Press Liaison Officer Superintendent Stephen Dean told ZNS News what police discovered when they arrived on the crime scene.
2 p.m. today's date, police received a report of a body was found in bushes just adjacent to Dean's Lane in the West Bay Street area. Police responded on arrival. They met the body of a lifeless male with multiple wounds about the body. The body was pronounced dead on the scene. Police are actively investigating this matter. Based on our preliminary report, based on the information that police have now, we can tell you that we are following significant leads in this latest homicide. We believe that we can give you some very encouraging news tomorrow. We believe that we should wrap this up in a 24-hour period.
Meantime, officer in charge of the Central Division, Superintendent Ashton Greenslade, believes in an effort to reduce the war on crime, Bahamians must be willing to provide police with information that will help them solve matters like this.
The members of the public, anyone who might have seen something, it might not seems like nothing to you, but it might be the piece of the puzzle for us to solve this latest homicide. And like Mr. Dane say, we are being encouraged with our investigation, and we should bring this one to completion in short order.
An elderly man becomes the country's latest traffic fatality after he was dragged to his death. According to police, it was shortly after 12:30 this morning when a 60-year-old man was attempting to cross West Bay Street just east of Marcus Bethel Way when he was reportedly struck by a 2008 silver Suzuki Swift vehicle traveling in an easterly direction on West Bay Street. But just moments later, while onlookers were attending to the victim, he was struck again and dragged nearly 1,000 feet. This time by a 2003 Ford Mustang that was traveling in a westerly direction. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Now we understand the 53-year-old male driver of the Suzuki Swift and the 32-year-old male driver of the Ford Mustang are assisting traffic police in connection with this incident. This is the country's third traffic fatality for the year. Police here in the capital making 2 drug busts this weekend. The first matter happened sometime around 1:20 Saturday afternoon when police arrested 2 men ages 21 and 29 years old for possession of dangerous drugs. Drug Enforcement Unit officers acted on information and searched a Honda vehicle on Kim's Crescent where they found a quantity of suspected marijuana. A 30-year-old male spent the night behind bars after he was also arrested for possession of dangerous drugs shortly before 7 last evening. Mobile Division officers were on patrol in the Masons Addition area when they observed a man acting suspiciously. Once officers searched the suspect, they found a quantity of suspected marijuana in his possession. Investigations into both matters continue. 20 security personnel representing 17 airports in 13 Family Islands received trainer certification at the closing ceremony of a 5-day Excellence in Screening Techniques course at the Super Club's Breezes Resort. The 5-day training course was hosted by the Department of Civil Aviation in conjunction with the Organization of American States, the Inter-American Committee Against Terrorism, and the United States Transportation and Security Administration. Director of Civil Aviation, Captain Patrick Roll, explained that the training course met all of its objectives with an emphasis on the customer service side of airport security. He expressed that this level and quality of training will continue and that Bahamian security specialists would consistently meet and exceed international security standards and service delivery. Transport and Aviation Minister Glenys Hannah Martin also gave remarks at the closing ceremony and told graduates that as Family Island airports are quickly revolving, certain challenges must be addressed.
I know there are challenges with space at a lot of these terminals and how you undertake your work, and we're looking to address all of that now with the IDB, the funding that the government has accessed to upgrade many of these more busy airports to ensure that we are physically, infrastructure-wise, equipped to deal with the heightened demands of increased traffic.
Training specialists from the United States Transportation Safety Administration provided training in airport screening techniques. The aviation minister believes this is vital to efficient Family Island airport operations.
The task that you have is such a serious one, and in truth, it is one that is delegated to you on behalf of the Bahamian people. You do it for us, and you are actually protecting and defending the integrity of our sovereign borders. I encourage you to always, in all that you do, carry out your function with diligence, with being astute, and with tremendous focus and discipline and seriousness, because it's the nature of your undertaking.
When the Bahamas Tonight weekend continues, a new book on investing in the Bahamas is now available. That story and more coming up.